All right, folks, I need you to buckle up because I've got a pretty wild and surprising tale to share. This story, dripping with unexpected turns, took place in February 2022. It's intriguing to note that the backdrop of this story is not somewhere remote, but quite near the bustling Californian city of Stockton, a place many of you might be familiar with. As soon as Brandon got wind of the peculiar situation involving a dog and obtained the intricate details surrounding it, he immediately felt the urgency to act. Without wasting a second, he sped to the specified location. On arrival, his initial assessment was quite grim. Things didn't seem too optimistic. Here's a bit of backstory. Brandon, our main character in this tale, came across some chatter. He heard that there was this little dog that not only seemed under the weather, but also bore the distinct marks of age. The combination of these factors made the situation seem all the more dire and amplified his innate desire to step in and offer assistance. Given the concerns that the condition of the animal might deteriorate further, the dedicated animal services officer had a clearer understanding of the unfolding situation when he finally reached the reported location, keen on taking swift actions as needed. So, faced with this dilemma, what's a guy like Brandon to do? Noticing the lack of a collar or any sort of tag on the dog, he quickly sprung into action. Remembering he had a specialized scanner tucked away in his vehicle, he wasted no time in fetching it, hoping it might offer some clues about the mysterious canine. One of the officer's primary goals, and something he was earnestly hoping for, was to determine if the dog had been embedded with a microchip. If it had one, that tiny device could potentially unfold an entire narrative about her past, her origins, and possibly lead them to her family. Without skipping a beat and with the scanner in hand, Brandon decided to examine the dog. His hunch paid off. He discovered the dog had a microchip implanted. A quick scan revealed that this four-legged wanderer was named Zoe. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. The real shocker was the other pieces of information stored on that tiny chip. The revelations from that microchip, when scanned, were nothing short of staggering. The data indicated that this little canine had been missing from its original home and wandering for a period extending over an entire decade. Now, here's where things take a wild turn. The chip's data archive carried an astonishing piece of information. It revealed that way back in 2010, Zoe had been reported missing by her distraught owners. A whole decade and then some had passed since that event. Yet, as astonishing as that discovery was, there was another revelation waiting in the wings, one that would further jolt the officer's understanding of the situation and was sure to be even more surprising. But the story doesn't end there. Given the prolonged period of Zoe's absence, the organization responsible for monitoring these microchips had taken a somber view. They marked her status as deceased back in 2015. All these intricate details were encapsulated within that diminutive chip. It's hard to fathom, especially when Brandon could clearly see, standing right in front of him, that Zoe was very much alive. Delving into the dog's past, it was clear that she once had a comfortable life in the cozy environs of Lafayette, California, where she was ensconced in the warmth and care of her human family. Now, against all odds, she found herself adrift nearly 70 miles from that familiar haven. This was not your everyday find-a-lost dog kind of story. This was something completely out of left field, an anomaly. And if you think we've reached the climax, hold on, because as Brandon delved deeper into the data on the chip, he unearthed another astounding revelation. Sifting through the microchip's data, the officer's eyes landed on a phone number. This number was linked to a woman named Michelle, who was identified as Zoe's previous owner from Lafayette. A looming question, however, was whether this number, after the long span of 12 years, would still connect to Michelle. Realizing the gravity of the situation and not wanting to delay any further, Brandon decided to involve the authorities. He reached out to the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office and presented his findings. The officers, sharing Brandon's urgency, made a swift move to contact the dog's owner. Astonishingly, it was found that Michelle, the owner in question, still used her old phone number. This was a beacon of hope, especially considering she had moved from Lafayette a good while ago. But let's pump the brakes for a moment. A burning question lingers. How did Michelle and Zoe, a duo that seemingly shared a strong bond, end up on different paths? What was their relationship dynamic before the world turned upside down with Zoe's unanticipated disappearance in 2010? Michelle, brimming with emotions and anxious to share more about the events leading up to Zoe's mysterious disappearance, recorded a heartfelt video. This video, later shared on the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, provided insights into that fateful day Zoe vanished. Michelle, opening up about their shared past, revealed, "We welcomed Zoe into our lives from a local shelter when she was just a pup, barely 6 months old. She wasn't alone. She had a twin sister. The moment our eyes met, it was love at first sight. We were completely enamored and knew we had to make them part of our family." With a voice tinged with nostalgia, she recounted, "Zoe had been with us for a blissful 6 months. One seemingly ordinary day, we made a brief trip to the nearby store, gone for merely 20 minutes. Our hearts sank when, upon our return, we found that Zoe had mysteriously disappeared without a single trace." Recalling the heart-wrenching episode of Zoe's disappearance, one can't help but feel immense sympathy for Michelle and her family. The ordeal of losing a furry family member in such an abrupt manner must have been a tumultuous roller coaster of emotions, oscillating between hope and despair. Such heart-wrenching tales naturally lead one to wonder about the broader picture. Just how frequently do distraught pet owners manage to reunite with their cherished lost dogs? Do statistical insights paint a picture of hope or one of despair? To provide some context to the gravity of such situations, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals took it upon themselves to conduct an exhaustive investigation. Spanning a duration of 5 years, the results they unearthed were both enlightening and somewhat comforting. In a bid to address these pressing questions, the esteemed organization ASPCA took the initiative to conduct a comprehensive study. They subsequently disseminated their findings to the public, and the results are bound to evoke a range of emotions. Their extensive survey, which involved a plethora of participants, yielded some heartening stats. It turned out that a substantial 90% of dogs that had vanished during that 5-year window eventually found their way back into the loving embrace of their families. At a cursory glance at the provided statistics, there's a palpable sense of encouragement. A success rate of 90% is undeniably commendable. However, the coin has another side, and it's essential to address it. The report also delineates that a significant 15% of individuals endured the heartbreak of never reuniting with their treasured lost pet. A nugget of wisdom for all pet owners out there. In such distressing circumstances, time is a vital asset. Drawing from insights on the My Pet Needs That website, the initial 24 hours after a pet goes missing are the most crucial. Acting promptly during this window exponentially increases the odds of a happy reunion. If we narrow down our focus and consider just the immediate 24 hours following a pet's disappearance, the odds of a successful reunion stand impressively high at 90%. However, it's crucial to temper this optimism with reality. As days turn into weeks and months, the likelihood of a reunion diminishes at an alarming rate. Recounting the agonizing days post-Zoe's 2010 disappearance, one can't help but empathize with the emotional whirlwind Michelle and her family must have endured. With each passing day, the weight of despair must have grown heavier, slowly overshadowing any flickers of hope. One of the age-old ponderings that pet owners and enthusiasts alike grapple with is, what compels a dog, who seemingly has everything it needs at home, to wander away? The insightful platform My Pet Needs That delved into this conundrum and postulated several intriguing theories that might shed light on such perplexing incidents. The My Pet Needs That website offers some intriguing insights into canine behavior. It suggests that certain dogs, despite enjoying the comforts of a loving home, may have an inherent itch for adventure. Presented with an opportunity, they might succumb to their instincts and wander off. Drawing parallels with Zoe's situation might offer some clarity. As Michelle vividly described, she wasn't present at home during the precise moment of Zoe's disappearance. It's plausible that in the absence of supervision, there was no one to either prevent Zoe's exit or even notice her absence promptly. The kindness of their community shone brightly during their ordeal. Messages poured in from every corner of the neighborhood, each bearing the hopeful news that their pet had been spotted. As a safeguard against future heartbreaks and to ensure this traumatic experience remains a one-time event, their dog now proudly sports a state-of-the-art tracking device, a testament to their unwavering commitment to his safety. This touching tale of Zoe and Michelle wasn't just limited to the realm of Facebook. The power of their story resonated far and wide, catching the attention of major media outlets. Renowned platforms like the BBC, People, CBS News, and the Today website were all abuzz with their reunion story, and it even made waves as far away as 9 News in Australia. And just when you thought the story couldn't get any more astonishing, another twist emerges. The tale of the lost dog transitioned from a local narrative to an international sensation. Who in their wildest dreams would have anticipated this turn of events? With the flood of attention and the emotional roller coaster she had been on, Michelle took a moment during the Facebook video to share her thoughts. Reflecting on the wild turn of events and what the future might hold for her and Zoe, she opened up about her feelings, hopes, and dreams for her beloved pet. The emotional whirlwind didn't leave Zoe's owner untouched. She took a moment, amidst the media attention and overwhelming outpouring of support, to introspectively reflect on their serendipitous reunion on that memorable day in February 2022.